Washington, VA Secretary nominee Ronny Jackson confronts the first significant evaluation of his appointment on Wednesday, when he appears before the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee for his confirmation hearing.
Jackson, a Rear Admiral in the Navy and the recent White House doctor, is largely unknown in the veterans community, also is expected to face pointed questions from lawmakers on an array of issues outside his existing job duties.
He's taking over for a once popular VA secretary and doctor who was fired by President Donald Trump over Twitter just a few weeks after an Oval Office ceremony where the commander-in-chief praised him for unprecedented reforms to the department. Lawmakers will want to know why Jackson thinks he can fill the job better, among a host of other VA policy items. Jackson is likely to be asked multiple times whether he is in favor of privatizing VA healthcare, and he will say no every time.
But the term privatization has become an ill-defined pejorative within the veterans community, meaning different things to different people. So that alone doesn't really answer the core question of how much Jackson will rely on outside doctors to supplement or replace veterans' medical care.
About one-third of all medical appointments paid for by VA last year took place in hospitals and clinics outside its own federal system. A plan being discussed on Capitol Hill would make more veterans eligible for those visits, but still keep VA at the heart of care coordination and scheduling.
If Jackson indicates that he would like to see that proposal expanded more, giving veterans more flexibility to choose outside doctors without department approval, it's likely to alarm Democrats and veterans advocates who see that as a step towards major shifts of money outside VA, potentially hurting the traditional healthcare system in the future.
This is the question that many outside the veterans community will be tracking the most closely, given Jackson's promotion from overseeing the small staff of White House Medical Services to the more than 375,000-person Department of Veterans Affairs.
In his meetings with senators last week, Jackson acknowledged the challenge ahead but said he is confident he can rise to the challenge. And several outside advocates, including former VA Secretary David Shulkin, the man Jackson is replacing, have said that running the nation's largest healthcare system is a daunting task for any potential candidate. Still, the issue is likely to come up in the context of whether Jackson was properly vetted for the cabinet-level post, or whether his personality and close connection to the president played a primary role rather than his actual ability to run the department.
Shulkin has blamed political operatives within the department for undermining his tenure as secretary, and for trying to advance a too aggressive privatization agenda within the department. Nearly all of the individuals he viewed as opponents are still there.
The department is currently conducting a search for its open Undersecretary for Health post. Jackson interviewed for the position earlier this year, and is also dealing with a growing list of other top executives departing in the wake of Shulkin's firing. Lawmakers want to know if Jackson or less visible White House figures will be making those decisions.